Hey Simone,
Hi, Con.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for diving into this.
Thank you for taking me in.
Of course. What do you weigh?
I weigh 211, and this is the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. I'm actually shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. It's been gradual, you know what I mean, over accumulation of years that I've put on the weight, and then I start realizing that I'm putting on weight and I start to kind of do something about it. But the last couple of years, it's just, I think I've gotten rather comfortable and just kind of given up on trying. My family and I are originally from Ireland, and it was difficult. My parents didn't, have green cards when we came here. They had to work very hard, and they had 2 little kids and trying to learn American, lifestyle. And I had a thick accent, and so I used to get made fun of. So I always kind of felt like a little bit of an outsider. While living in America, I used to take tennis lessons, and my sister and I would go together. And we were young. I was probably only about 7 at the time, and I ended up being molested by my tennis teacher, which was a huge, devastating blow. And I didn't want to tell my parents. And I had a childhood friend, who was also going to the same tennis teacher, and we were talking about it one day. We were playing Barbies, and she was like, I think we should tell our parents. And I was so mortified because I didn't want to create any upheaval in our house, because my parents worked hard. They were already stressed out about money and raising 2 children. And this girl did tell her parents, who called my parents. And of course, my father went into a rage because he was so upset. And they were upset that I didn't tell them, But as a little girl, I thought, oh, they're mad at me for what happened. And so it's just a lot to take. So I think as a child, I always wanted to be very good and always be
Perfect.
on. Yeah.
And how did you move forward?
I think in some ways I have. I mean, I think I've accepted, there's things that you can't control. I think a hard thing that I still struggle with was being raped in college, and having to say it was okay, that there was nothing that I did. And that's kind of a challenge every day, and just really digging in deep and really forgiving myself. And I find that hard to do. And I think I find it hard to forgive myself in general whenever I make a mistake.
Yeah.
And because I always wanted to be so good.
It's a pattern. When I was 7, I was sexually abused too, and for me, I didn't deal with it. It was just I didn't know how to react to it. I felt ashamed. I felt responsible. I didn't want to add to what my parents already have, and so I decided to go to denial. And when you do that, the pressure and the suppress the emotional suppress, it's so bad that will go to your subconscious level, and it starts to drive your life.
Yeah, because I still feel this, what did I do wrong, and it kind of does stem still from my childhood, don't do anything wrong, yeah. You feel like you've got this string of bad luck or these bad things that are following you.
And that becomes your story for the rest of your life, just because that happened, so I'm not good enough, or I'm not deserving. Right,
and I think sometimes, right now for me, I think part of my weight gain is that I'm in a really loving relationship, and with someone that completely accepts me for every facet of me, every good, bad, all of it, and embraces the quirky side of me and the side that gets angry. And I think from his acceptance, I kind of just gave up on the other parts that I needed to work on, which is my actual health. And my, keeping sure my body is properly fueled, and that I'm exercising and moving around, and that's kind of why I'm here. I'm just looking forward to the journey. I'm looking forward to making the change and seeing the shift in my brain happen. And I think earlier I was saying I want the light bulb to stay on.
Yeah, sure.
So
Simone. Welcome back.
Thank you, Con. It's good to be back.
Yeah. How much did you lose?
I lost 24 pounds and I believe 6.5 inches.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, walk me through your experience.
I learned that it's okay to not be perfect and that not everything is going to fall into place. And I think the epiphany arrived rather late for me in the program. I was continually pushing myself and doing things that I wasn't honoring my body. And I think that was hard for me. I always push and push and push, and I'm not honoring who I am as a person, and that there's areas that I am not perfect, where I need the support of others and the encouragement, and that's what this gave to me. It allowed me to be fallible in a way. It allowed me to just kind of be here now and present, and to not worry about everything else on the periphery, and to just kind of focus on myself and loving myself and not having horrible thoughts and putting myself down. So
That's awesome.
I realize I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. I realize that I'm not alone. I always felt kind of alone, and maybe that's because coming from another country to this country and just having my parents and my sisters and never really feeling like I fit in, but this allowed me to feel like I'm just like everyone else.
Yeah.
I have ups and downs, and again, I'm not perfect, and I grew from this a lot. I feel at peace. I feel more in tune with who I am. I don't know where and when I lost it or why it was so hidden. I think, with all, the experiences that I had, with being molested and raped and watching, my parents get so frustrated and angry and always be on edge, and now I'm looking back, and, some of that just was the cover to hide, and I don't have to carry that weight around anymore. I don't have to even not acknowledge it, but I don't have to dwell on it. I don't have to use it to, identify who I am. I feel like a bright white light. I feel amazing. I feel like my aura is just shining.
I see it.